Eddie Gomez making his way towards the ring. Our Ring TV Live cameras caught up with him.
My parents, they Honduran, they from Honduras. I was born in Bronx, New York, but my parents, they from Honduras, so I represent Honduras also. But it's a big chip on my shoulder for me to be actually from the U.S., from New York, and represent Honduras at the same time. Although a lot of people out there may not know me, it's okay. So me being from the Bronx, it's like, when I have to brawl, we gotta get it done. We gotta go in there, tuck our hands up nice and strong, and do what we gotta do. We switch up the game plan. We could brawl, but it won't be brawling throughout the whole 10 rounds because we gotta save ourselves. Boxing is a short but long career. Now I'm at a point where, I'm on contender status. So we just reaching and climbing and working towards something better. Put the work in, do what I have to do to make sure come fight night, I look outstanding, I look spectacular, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in that ring. From the first fight until now, it's like I know how to go in there and do certain stuff, how to, save myself for certain rounds, how to work my jab, how to work my way around the ring, how to work my angles. We doing what we supposed to be doing, and when I say we doing what we supposed to be doing, I mean getting up 6, 7 in the morning, running up the hills, Griffin Park. We doing our sprints. When I say we doing everything, we not leaving no stones unturned. Everything, we doing it.
Eddie Gomez, 1801, Bronx, New York, 23 years old. There you see his dad wearing the shades. His dad was an amateur fighter in Honduras. Moved to the Bronx, and now he's watching his son, the pro. And also there, Alex Devia, his trainer, long time with him since the amateur days. Eddie Gomez. Real name is Eddie Gomez.
That's interesting because his style reminds me a lot of a young Andre Berto. He's compact, athletic, gifted with speed and power, and can be explosive. I actually think Gomez better technically.
Del Fantasy Springs Resort Casino en Indio, California, Estados Unidos. Este es el combate estelar de esta noche. Y está pactado a 10 rounds por el campeonato vacante de Norteamérica de la Federación Internacional de Boxeo. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening. Set for 10 rounds of boxing for the vacant IBF North American Welterweight Championship. Presentado a ustedes, presented by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions in association with Cerveza Tecate Born Bold. This bout is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Commissioner John Carvelli, Executive Officer Andy Foster, your timekeeper Mike Millsap, physicians in ringside, Doctors Jeff Roberts and Kelly Tucker. Your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside. Sus 3 jueces, Carla Kais, David Denkin y Tony Cribbs. Y el tercero en la superficie para medir las acciones, your 3rd man inside the ring, Eddie Hernández. Ahora bien, damas y caballeros, prepárense. Let's get down. Introducing to you first, the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing black, white, and gray. Official weight, 146.6 pounds. Y presentando a la esquina Tecate Azul, vistiendo calzoncillo color negro con blanco y gris, con un peso de 146.6 libras. Professionally, he stands at 13 victories, 1 loss, and 6 of those victories coming by the way of knockout. Presenta un récord profesional casi perfecto de 13 victorias, 1 derrota y 6 de esas victorias por la vía del knockout. De Caguas, Puerto Rico, boricua hasta el corazón y los huesos, John Karl SOSA. And his opponent across the ring, standing in the red corner, wearing multicolored trunks. Official weight, 145.6 pounds. Y su rival peleando en la esquina Tecate Roja, vistiendo calzoncillo color multicolor, con un peso de 145.6 libras. Professional, he stands at 18 victories, 1 loss, and 11 of those victories coming by the way of knockout. Presenta un récord casi perfecto de 18 victorias, una derrota y 11 de esas victorias por la vía del knockout. Representing Honduras in the Bronx, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, the E-Boy, Eddie Gomez. And to give out the final instructions, las instrucciones finales en manos de Eddie Hernández.
Got your mouthpiece? Let me see it, guys. Gentlemen, I've been over the rules with you both. You guys are both professionals. I expect you to conduct yourself as such. Touch gloves? Good luck.
Eddie Hernandez with the details. Here's the tell of the tape, Doug.
These guys are 23 years old. Gomez has a wingspan which is 4 inches longer. Sosa is 1 inch taller.
We get ready to go. Our main event from the Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino in Indio, California, on Ring TV Live. Bethel Duran, Doug Fisher, and Joseph Diaz Jr. It's scheduled for 10 rounds. Eddie Gomez, 18-1-1, started boxing at the age of 8. His dad, mentioned earlier, fought amateurs in Honduras, and they walked into a gym in the Bronx, New York, and there were amateur fights going on. As Eddie says, after that, I never left the gym. He was hooked.
He had an incredible gym reputation in just a few years after he started competing competitively. Probably, like I said at the start of the show, one of the most highly talented New York City area amateurs in the last 10 years. Used to go to boxing places in New York City. There's a bar in Times Square, Jimmy's Corner, and there'd be managers and trainers and even some promoters like Lou DiBella that would frequent the place, and we would talk about who's coming up. And I remember, you know, back in 2007, 2008, everybody was always buzzing about the Honduran. They wouldn't even use his name, Eddie Gomez. Didn't want to say his name. They were afraid. Everybody was positioning themselves to sign this kid as soon as he turned pro.
He was like an amateur boogeyman or something?
Well, they didn't want anybody from the West Coast to know who this guy was. They were afraid he would get signed, and of course, Golden Boy got him. You know, but you know, his reputation was unreal. Years before he would actually lace on the gloves for a professional contest.
He turned professional in 2010, a first-round knockout. That was in Puerto Rico. But that day when he walked into that gym, Doug, his dad saw a man that looked familiar. It was Jose Talavera, who's now Eddie's manager. That man, Talavera, had trained his dad as a youth. They hadn't seen each other in 15 years, and they just said, that's it. Everything is just lining up.
Serendipity.
And Eddie Gomez has not looked back. Said he did other sports as a kid, you know, some basketball, some soccer, some track, but nah, it was boxing all the way. He just stays in the gym. Last fight for him was April of last year. Trying to decide if he's going to re-sign with Golden Boy, and he did. Not worried about with the ring rust, he said, because he stays in the gym. Actually has a good relationship with Andre Ward. On Eddie's Instagram, you saw a text message exchange between he and Ward, where Ward said, you don't have ring rust. You stay clean. You stay in the gym. That's all you need to do. Go out there and get it.
You can tell. You can see it in his body. His body looks great. And you see it in his timing and his reflexes. I don't see any signs of ring rust whatsoever.
See that thick body on him, JoJo.
Yeah, he is, man. He's very thick-boned.
10 seconds to go in the opening round. Eddie Gomez, Karl SOSA filling each other out. Scheduled for 10 in Indio. Roberto Diaz, matchmaker for Golden Boy, put these two Golden Boy fighters together.
Good fight. It's you know, it's been a long time since Eddie's been in the ring, over a year. You know, he's very anxious to get back in the ring, to show everybody where he belongs, top in the division. Very impressed, and I'm very happy, surprised, you know, with all that inactivity out of the ring. Normally you see fighters come back where you could tell they've been out of the gym. It's the opposite with Eddie. He's already made weight for this fight. A couple days ago, you could see that hunger is back, that drive is back, that motivation is back. So I'm excited to see him back in the ring. He's going to be fighting Karl SOSA, who's coming off his first defeat in the hands of Alan Sanchez last November. So Karl has a lot to prove. He wants to come back and get what's his. So it's a early crossroads fight for both. It's a make and break for both guys.
Golden Boy matchmaker Roberto Diaz, make or break for both.
Wow.
And
23 years old, and you're already at the make or break, but that's the way it is. And I am seeing a lot of desire and a lot of aggression from Sosa. He wants to prove that his last fight was an aberration, that wasn't him, that he can perform better to that he can perform to his potential. I thought he lost the first round against Gomez. Gomez was sharper and landing the harder shots, but Sosa definitely competitive.
From Caguas, Puerto Rico, Karl SOSA. That loss against Alan Sanchez was the first time he had ever hit the mat in his professional career. He said even as an amateur, it had never gone down. He said, but he learned from it, went back and watched it. Said that for that fight, he wasn't as focused as he had to be. Went back home. Said he gives credit to Sanchez, not taking anything away from him. He got caught. But in this fight, he said everything's different from the way he trained, the way he ate, just the way he rested. And here you go. No way to ease you back at Golden Boy. We're going to get you Eddie Gomez.
This is, he's going to have to be at his best to compete with Gomez.
Good right hand landed by Gomez. E-Boy lives in Hackensack, New Jersey now. Went to the Canelo fight. He actually said he met Canelo in 2010, mutual respect. They always say hi to each other. And after that came to India. He's actually been in the desert for 2 weeks, training out here and sparring, rented a house in Coachella. Got some sparring in. Actually sparred with Joseph Aguirre, who fought earlier tonight. Did Gomez.
Good uppercut, Gomez.
Jojo, you know this sparring is very important for who you go up against. Gomez for this fight, Ray Beltran, Sean Porter, Felix Diaz, and Julian Hammerhead Rodriguez, who has a fight June 11th.
Oh, he's well prepared then, man. If he's sparred with all those tough fighters, he's well prepared for this fight. I feel Sosa, he was doing good and keeping out on his range. The only flaw that I seen on Sosa was when he was stepping back, he was dropping his hands and he could get caught. That's vulnerable.
Nice.
It's with
both
that right.
guys. Yeah, both guys have had their moments in this round. I like the aggression and the volume from Sosa. I like the accuracy and the economy of the power punching from E-Boy Gomez.
It's a great fight so far.
Light, born bold.
And Golden Boy Boxing on Ring TV Live is brought to you by Tecate, the official sponsor of Golden Boy Boxing. Tecate, born bold. Look at some replays from the first couple of rounds.
There's plenty of highlights to choose from just 2 rounds of action. These guys they're letting their hands go. Good work from both guys.
Yeah.
Body shot.
After
they're
the fight
inside, and
okay.
Gomez's back is to the ropes.
And there you see heavyweight champion Riddick Bowe next to Roberto Diaz. Robert Gaspari also there. At this moment, Golden Boy would like to send our thoughts and prayers to the family of Eric Morales, his father in the hospital, wishing him a speedy recovery in Tijuana. Also father of Ivan Morales. Golden Boy fighter.
Yep, Morales just fought for a bantamweight world title. Came up short, but I'm sure he got some very good experience with that. Riddick Bowe, former undisputed heavyweight champion, recently inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame.
Congratulations to him. Was doing a meet and greet with the fans a couple hours ago. People were loving it. Eddie Gomez in the camouflage. John Karl SOSA in the gray.
These guys are sharp boxer punches. Yeah. I really like the combinations. I like the body shots from both guys, and I'm impressed with Sosa's aggression.
Yeah, Sosa's he's very aggressive. He's throwing combinations. Gomez he's picking and landing effective shots. It's a really great fight, man. I mean, you're seeing a lot of aggression towards Sosa, and Gomez, he's not backing away. He's banging in there as well.
Eddie Gomez now 23 years old. He said when he fought here against Chia Santana in 2014, he was different. He wasn't focused. He was worried about everything outside of the ring. He told me yesterday at the weigh-in he probably had 15 people when he fought Chia Santana here at the Fancy Springs in Indio. This time, just his corner. He said he had to grow up. He's now the father of a 2-year-old Kaylee Iree Gomez. His motivation and his heart, born at the right moment of his life. Baby girl's mom taking care of everything he needs. That way he can come out and train and just worry about boxing. He said, you know, you're forced to grow up. You think different when you're a father. You're fighting for more people than just yourself. Cut off that negative energy around you. He said, and that focused him to get back and train even harder. Get to a level where he wants to be, as you mentioned, Doug, in 2007, 2008, where everybody was talking about him as an amateur.
Yeah, and I think, you know, his first couple of years as a professional, he just relied on his talent. It didn't look like he was trying to improve from fight to fight, because the level of his competition at that time, he was able to blow them out. I mean, he was just, you know, he's blasting them in 1, 2, or 3 rounds. And then when they finally stepped him up to a guy like Chia Santana, which is very tough, very big, very strong, is going to bring it to you, we saw that he had heart. But there were things he could have been smarter about that fight. He could have conserved his energy better. He could have been more economical the way he is in this fight. I'm glad to hear that he's got the focus and that maturity, because it looks like he's going to need it against Sosa.
Sosa not going anywhere. The Boricua standing there with Gomez. Done with 3 in Indio.
Picket signs, don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on?
Golden Boy Boxing on Ring TV Live is brought to you by Mason's Boxing Equipment. Tailor-made Italian boxing equipment since 1978. Go to masonsboxing.com for more. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Joseph Diaz Jr. You see the family of Eddie Gomez, the Honduran fighter, coming strong. Edilberto Eddie Gomez from Bronx, New York. They're enjoying it. He has a good cheering section for him. Everybody watching back in Hackensack, New Jersey. Do appreciate it. Everybody sending us the tweets. Ring TV Live hashtag. Also the Snapchat, Bird11. Do appreciate the still shot of myself, Doug, and JoJo. Looking smooth, of course, as always. Look good right now is Eddie Gomez. And the 4th round is brought to you by Yip TV. What's the word of Gomez around the world of boxing, Doug?
Somebody who has, you know, he was a blue chip prospect. And, you know, fighters that come out of New York City, they have a little bit of extra hype, just like fighters who come out of the greater LA area, because New York City is the media capital of the world, just like Los Angeles. So they often, if you're the cream of the crop on the amateur level, and if you've got a strong gym reputation in those areas and areas that also have strong boxing traditions, you're going to have more hype than some guys who are Olympians. And he had that kind of hype, and a lot of people really sort of looked at it almost as a foregone conclusion that he was going to be shortly a top 10 contender and eventually a world title holder. Those plans got derailed a little bit with his first setback. And of course, 13 months of inactivity. You know, that sort of put his career on ice. And hats off to Gomez and to Golden Boy Promotions for agreeing for his comeback to be against a guy who's a fellow prospect. Even though Sosa's coming off a loss, you know that a young guy, young hungry guy, only 23 years old, with Sosa's, with his natural talent, that his first fight back after a loss, he's going to come hungry. He's going to come hell-bent to get that victory. And the result is a good fight.
Eddie Gomez training at the Garden State School of Boxing in New Jersey with his trainer, Alex Devia.
Good right hand.
Another, gosh, yeah,
Good
Sosa's
right hand.
finding a home for
Sosa's
his right.
Yep, that's right.
Karl SOSA made his debut in 2012 at the age of 19. Most of his fights were in Puerto Rico. One in Dallas, one in Vegas, one in Brooklyn. A lot of people comparing him early on in his career to Juan Manuel Lopez, who serves as a mentor to Sosa. I can see why Roberto Diaz, the matchmaker for Golden Boy, put these guys together. It's tough.
Oh, it's a really tough fight. It's an exciting fight as well. Much respect for both of them for taking this fight, man.
How's that work? Tell me, JoJo, does your manager tell you, or you call it Golden Boy? What do they do?
Well, usually with my manager, Robert and my manager, Ralph Heredia, they'll give me 3 or 4 names, and then I'll pick which one I want.
Okay. I always wondered that. I don't want to ask the managers because then you talk to her for 3 hours about what the guy can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, a little stare down
The
at the
representative came to my school talking about the different programs, and information security was one. Family, friends, but the best part about graduation day was when I got to announce to my family that I had gotten the job. For some, school is a backup plan, but for me, it was the only plan. And I ended up choosing ITT Tech over other 4-year institutions.
Scholarships and financial aid are available for students who qualify. Call 800-227-2162. That's 800-227-2162.
And Ring TV Live is brought to you by ITT Technical Institute. ITT Tech for the future. Call today, 800-227-2162. Find out more info, schedule that free campus tour. That's 800-227-2162. Inside the Special Event Center at the Fancy Springs Resort and Casino, Eddie Gomez, Karl SOSA. There you see the Honduran fighter Gomez, Bronx, New York. Action starting to pick up a little bit. How do you have it after 4, Doug?
I've got it even. I've got it 38-38. Rounds 1 and 3 went to Gomez. Rounds 2 and 4 went to Sosa. They're close rounds. I gave round 4 to Sosa on the strength of those clean right hands that he landed, JoJo.
And you, Joseph?
Yes, I have it exactly the same, 38-38, but I gave Sosa the first round and the last round as well. Sosa he found his way and landed those effective right hands, and I feel like he's controlling the distance right now, too.
You know what surprised me about this fight? How well Sosa takes a shot, a clean shot to the jaw. And I've noticed whenever Gomez lands like an uppercut or a clean right or a clean left, Sosa looks to his corner and kind of smiles and shakes his head like, no, I'm fine, I'm okay. He's not hurting me.
Is there some question in that corner, considering his last fight where he was knocked out by an overhand right?
And you can tell that was his first time being on the canvas, because he kind of looked like it was like, is this really happening?
Yeah,
he had this incredulous look like, did I just get knocked down? This is very strange.
In that fight, he got up immediately. He didn't take that knee, get the 8, shake off the cobweb, no. He reacted like a fighter who had never been knocked down. The footwork from Gomez. Gomez has a relationship with Andre Ward because he was watching a Ward fight and he liked the boots that Ward was wearing. You know, Andre Ward, sponsored by Jumpman, Nike boots. Only he gets them. Found a mutual connection who introduced him, a friend of a friend of a friend. Next thing you know, Andre Ward hooked him up with some Jordan Brand boots.
Awesome.
And the relationship from there has continued. And you know Ward, don't you, JoJo?
Yes, I know Ward, too. He gave me a good, all the Olympic team. He gave us a good little pep talk before the Olympic Games and stuff. He's a very nice guy, very outgoing guy, and nice and humble, man. Really appreciate all the support that he's given, especially me fighting on the card of his last fight. It was just a great opportunity for me to showcase my skills.
That's right. Joseph Diaz beat Jason Velez, a Puerto Rican, on HBO the night
good one,
of Ward, and Sullivan Barrera in Oakland. What's it like fighting a Puerto Rican, though?
It's it's different, man.
The Spanish is different, right?
Yes, the Spanish is different, man. Especially because it's Mexican versus Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
so you always want to have a good war.
Yeah, the media hypes that up, and deservedly so, because anytime you have the Mexican and the Puerto Rican, they go at it. You know, you being Mexican American, you probably hear a little bit extra, like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you better throw some more cheese on that.
Yep. Body work from Gomez. 10 seconds to go in the 5th round. It's scheduled for 10 between Eddie Gomez, Karl SOSA, and Indio on Ring TV Live.
Sosa touching with the jab, lands a grazing right cross, followed up by a right cross. Gomez comes back with a right uppercut, followed by a hook. Forehead to forehead, both guys working hard on the inside. Nice jab from Sosa as he comes forward. Gomez did a good job of setting traps and catching Sosa coming forward like that right hand, that right uppercut.
Beautiful uppercut.
That won the round.
Yeah,
for
it did.
me.
Yeah, because it was the most effective shot.
I agree. Great minds think alike, JoJo.
That's right.
I'm not going to disagree with you very often.
Eddie Gomez in the camouflage. Karl SOSA from Puerto Rico going at it. Done with 5 rounds. We're in the 6th, scheduled for 10. Our main event on Ring TV Live. Karl SOSA, Caguas. Eddie Gomez, Bronx, New York. Gomez has his own promotion company, 92 Promotions. 92 being the year he was born, along with the Mitchell brothers and Victor Sarabia. He said after that loss, that's when he realized who his real friends were, who really has his best interest. Good right hand landed by Sosa. A right hand landed by Gomez, coming back with the zone. They'll trade right hands. Sosa looks a lot calmer, Doug, doesn't he? We've seen a couple of his fights. He just looks like a different fighter. He said he's gonna be more focused, but you see that in him, right?
Definitely. You see focus with intensity. And that's a dangerous thing with his natural ability. I think both guys are natural athletes.
Yeah, they are. They're very athletic.
They're the kind of guys you could put them on a track and they could be wearing basketball shoes and, you know, they'll run 400 meters in like 55 seconds easy, you know?
And it's only the 15th fight in Karl SOSA's professional career. And Jojo, you and I were talking about this beforehand, now that you're 20-0, and it's different when you have fight 5, fight 10. When you're progressing in those teams, do you feel different?
Oh, yes. I mean, I feel different. Like, my next fight, I'm going to feel a lot different because I gained all that experience. I had a cut, so now I know how to deal with the cut. I know how to go the distance with a tough veteran as well. So all these fights that you're constantly building up, I mean, it's great. It's great experience for you. So you just got to always soak it in and just appreciate the moment.
This is Sosa grabbing right now. I wonder if that's on purpose, just trying to frustrate Gomez.
Well, Gomez, I think, is a little sharper and stronger on the inside, and I think it might just be a way, you know, just a very basic way of neutralizing Gomez on the
Smother
inside.
him?
Yeah, just tie him up when you're in close, because Sosa seems to be able to battle on par, or maybe he has a slight edge from mid-range.
Yeah, because Sosa is the longer fighter, so he would land effective shots, just keeping him out on the range. But he's fighting Gomez's fight on the inside, and Gomez is a lot shorter, so those punches are going to be landing.
Uppercut landed by Gomez, body shot from Gomez. There's some talking going on in there.
Ooh, good body shot.
You smother him and you're talking. Final seconds of the 6th round. Tough one. between Gomez and Sosa in Indio.
Sosa landing his jab, eating a nice right hand. Sort of a counter right hand from the outside from Eddie Gomez. Gomez feints, tries to measure him for a right uppercut, but Sosa's on to him, backpedals out of the way.
How do you guys have it scored so far? I'll start with you, Doug.
I've got it even, 57 to 57. I got him 3 rounds apiece. I scored the last round for Sosa. I liked his activity. Although we saw from those highlights, Gomez landed his share of power shots. And JoJo, I believe you scored the last round for Gomez.
Yes, I felt like Gomez was landing the more effective shots, and he was in there and digging to the body like you just seen him right now, landing effective body shots. So I felt like he won that round as well.
And they both come out swinging wildly, different from the previous 6 rounds. Stepping up in the gas here.
Maybe Sosa heard JoJo say that he scored the last round for Gomez, so it's got to come out and make something happen.
All of a sudden, Sosa speaks English, huh? All of a sudden. Karl SOSA, the red gloves. KEG, King Eddie Gomez. Bronx fighter.
Good uppercut.
Just leaning on each other. That has to take a toll, doesn't it, Joe?
Oh, absolutely it does. And some fighters, they do that just to get you tired and get you vulnerable before you can open up and get caught. I feel like some fighters just do that on purpose. I mean, I do it sometimes too on the inside. I'll make sure I put my body weight on the fighters for I could get them tired.
I've observed that. And it looks like Gomez is a little tired. His punches seem a little bit slower. I see his mouth open a little bit as he's getting air.
Yeah, he is.
You know, you can spar 10 rounds, you can go and put in the round, but it's one thing when you're sparred, it's another different world when you actually get those 10 rounds in an actual fight.
Yeah, it is, especially because it all has to do with the hydration as well when you're making weight.
Oh, great point.
Yeah, if you're not making weight right, then you're going to be tired during the fight. You could go as many rounds when you're sparring, when you're training, but if you're not like fully hydrated or have the right nutrition, you're going to be tired during the fight.
Eddie Gomez came in weighing 145. He said that's how great he felt with his conditioning. Most of his fights have been at 149, 150 era for Gomez.
Yeah, Gomez's body looks great. He's going to need to be in awesome condition because Sosa is outworking him right now. But Gomez is doing a very smart thing in this round, and he's landing choice body shots to slow down, take some energy away from John Sosa.
If you hear that Boricua accent, because we're in the corner of Karl SOSA and his trainer Alejandro Caraballo and Antonio Piñero are starting to pick it up a little bit. The accent's getting a little thicker. I speak Spanish. I don't understand some of those words they're saying. They were very calm the first 4 rounds was the corner of Karl SOSA. The last few, they're really starting to step it up with instruction and animation over there. 30 seconds to go in the 7th round. Sosa chasing around Gomez. The first time they separate each other in this round. Good hook from Gomez. Put the hands up and throw, they're telling Sosa. 10 seconds to go in the 7th round. Another tough one to score between Karl SOSA and Eddie Gomez on Ring TV. And Google Play. Doug, you were messing with it earlier. What are some of the cool features?
You get all of the top stories and top features, written features that are on ringtv.com. You also get all of our videos from the Ring TV YouTube channel. And if you go to live streams, you can catch the Ring TV live streams like tonight's show.
And all the replays of every single fight brought to you by Golden Pro Promotions and Ring TV Live. Great job by Will Wright and everybody in the digital department putting it together. David and Scott Tate, Terrell, Julio, Eric Gomez, and Oscar De La Hoya, of course, the Hall of Famer, president and founder of Golden Boy. 8th round is brought to you by ringtv.com. Visit ringtv.com for more great boxing content throughout the week. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Joseph Diaz Jr., the 2012 Olympian. What do you see right now, JoJo?
I see that Gomez is getting tired, man. It seems like he's getting more fatigued, and it seems like Sosa's being more aggressive because he knows that. And just in the beginning of the round, Sosa landed 2 hard shots, and it kind of looks like Gomez is getting more fatigued. So I think Sosa's going to pick up the pace a little bit.
Right hand from Sosa, he slips another. Another right hand from Sosa. While you were talking, JoJo, the corner of Sosa told him, "No te amarres, don't let him tie you up," which is different because the round before that, they were telling him to tie him up. So maybe they sensed something where along the lines of how he's tired.
Oh, yeah, they sense that Gomez is tired, and if I was Sosa, I wouldn't let Gomez try to tie me up. But if he was trying to, like, hug me or clinch me, I would just step back and maybe shoot an uppercut or step back and utilize my jab a little more. Yeah, like how he's doing right there.
I think the edge that Sosa has, apart from his ability to take Gomez's power, is his activity.
Yeah, that's right.
He is thrown more punches in every round. So you don't want to tie up your opponent because you can't throw shots when your arms are locked with your opponent.
Couple of jabs from Sosa. He's got the red gloves. And the talking started at the weigh-in yesterday. The stare down, where Gomez just did the motion of like, "Wow, your breath stinks," to Sosa. So
he had that dehydrated mouth.
Yeah, right. We'll leave that alone. It's a family show. But I asked Sosa, like, "Oh, what do you know about your opponent?" He said, "He's un bocón. He's a big mouth." I was like, "Okay, but what do you know about your opponent?" He said it again, like he's a big mouth. I'm like, "Okay." Things like, but I've watched tape on him. I know about him. There's enough tape out there for me to figure out some of his style.
Tell you what, Sosa's come in with a lot of confidence. I think he shouldn't be holding on right now. He should limit the grappling because Gomez has made a smart tactical move in this round. He's doing these shoe shines to the body. For the first half of this fight, he was landing these single power shots, very accurate, very economical. And they were probably the harder shots, but I think Gomez knows that judges are often impressed by activity, so he's starting to move his hands a little bit more.
Yeah, he knows that Sosa's being very active, so he has to be active as well. So that's why he's throwing like those 5-6 punch combinations to the body.
And making some noise.
Yeah.
Adding some sound effects to him.
That's right.
Why not?
Done with 8 rounds. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, Joseph Diaz Jr. here at the Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino. As we have a special surprise brought in. Happy birthday, Doug Fisher.
Happy birthday, Doug.
25 years old. He can now rent a car. Oh, my goodness. You are ready to go. Happy birthday. Right. Put the Snapchat in there, JoJo. There you go. There you go. We do it all. It's called multitasking.
I will devour this after the show.
Okay.
I wish I could eat it now.
What did you do for your birthday,
so
Doug?
good.
What did you do?
I worked. I'm here.
No, but what did you do in the room? You stayed up late last night doing your mailbag. Turn around.
Did the mailbag.
Social media.
Correct,
Come,
yeah.
JoJo.
Was up late with that.
All right. So you did the mailbag to what?
Shoot. I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning?
2 in the morning,
Which is
Dougie
typical.
Fisher doing the mailbag. See, Joseph, you're going to realize that as you get older, you don't want birthdays. Unless your insurance goes down, that's the only thing you care about.
And you learn there are no days off. Not in boxing. I mean, you know that, actually.
Yeah.
You already know that.
Well, happy birthday, Douglas Fisher.
Thanks,
we will
guys.
continue to make a big deal about it. Let me hide your cake.
Really? You gotta hide it around here.
Hide it from me, I mean.
Yes.
Especially around a TV crew. The crew will always find you. 8 rounds through in the books. How do you have it, Doug? I know I keep asking, but it's a tough one. It's hard to see.
Yeah, it is hard to score. I have it 77-75 for Gomez. I've scored round 7 and 8 for Gomez. And both times I did it, I wasn't 100% sure about it because of Sosa's work rate.
And you, JoJo?
I have it tied 76-76 through round 9 right now. I feel like Sosa's being very aggressive and throwing a lot of combinations and winning the rounds because of the aggressiveness.
Right, you've scored the last 2 rounds, round 7 and round 8 for Sosa.
Yes, correct.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Now, JoJo, see, you as a fighter, you watch fights at home with people around you, and you're like, oh, yeah, yelling, but you're not really paying attention. Now that you're ringside, do you kind of get how judges can score things a different way?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a whole different perspective now. When I'm at my house, just enjoying with my family and friends, we're just enjoying the fights and seeing like the effective blows and just like that, and just having a good time. But right here, when you're like actually being more critical and like more detailed on the fight, you can see everything happening, man. It's very exciting, and it's a different experience.
Hear that, all you people on Twitter, judges? Oh, I'm basically just talking to all my friends who say I could judge a fight. Yeah, sure. It's tough. When you sit ringside, you see different things. You see the way guys are slipping punches, or like right there how Gomez, as Doug said, the shoe shine. That adds up in the eyes because you've seen it up close. It's like, wow, he looks fast. He's landing that. Less than a minute to go in the 9th round. It has been a back and forth, a good one between Gomez and Sosa. Right hand from Sosa. Gomez slipping the last one.
And then a lot of times it's subjective. When you have these competitive rounds like this, you could look at Eddie Gomez's footwork and say, okay, he's trying to control the distance, trying to position himself to land punches. But you could also look at it like, yeah, he's trying to avoid Sosa.
Yeah, that's right.
30 seconds to go in the 9th round. Eddie Gomez, Karl SOSA. Honduras against Puerto Rico. Sosa looking in his corner, talking back to him. He looks fresh.
Yeah, he don't look tired at all.
It does not look like the fighter that went up and got knocked out by Alan Sanchez.
Good
right hand. Could that be enough to steal a round? Could that be enough for Gomez? And they're barking at each other. Sosa fired up.
1-2 from Eddie Gomez, clash of heads. Jostling for position on the inside. Sosa lands that lead right. He found a home for that short right the entire round. Boom, there it is, lead right. And I scored that last round for Sosa.
Yeah,
there it is, the short right. And it didn't matter what position Gomez was in. He was somehow able to land that lead, just a lead short route, just touch him with it. I have it a 1-point fight. Gomez up by 1 point on my very unofficial scorecard.
I was trying to eavesdrop in the corner of him. So, sorry, JoJo, go ahead.
I have Sosa winning 86-85.
Yeah, I was trying to eavesdrop in the corner of Sosa, and Sosa is fired up. His corner didn't give him any kind of instruction. As he told his corner as soon as he walked back, he's like, I'm winning this fight. I know what I'm doing. Voy a ganar. He kept saying that, I'm going to win. And his trainer looked at him like, you know, that look of like, oh, okay, I'm going to leave you alone.
You know what? Keep doing what you're doing, young man. Well, I tell you what, win, lose, or draw, Sosa's reminding everybody that he is a prospect, that he does have ability. And, you know, he's reminding me he makes for good fights. He can make for very good fights. He wasn't able to get it done against Alan Sanchez, and that was really maybe a case of just styles, finding such a tall, rangy guy who's going to be so disciplined with his jab and his lateral movement and those stick and move tactics. But you put Karl SOSA in with an aggressive fighter like Eddie Gomez, man, he's going to produce. They're going to deliver.
And Alan Sanchez coming off an upset of Pablo Cesar Cano on the Canelo Con weekend.
Yeah, Sanchez is a spoiler out there. Maybe you can consider him a fringe contender in the welterweight division.
Yeah, he's a really great fighter, Sanchez, man. He knows how to move the ring and use his distance because he is tall and rangy.
They didn't match each of these guys easy. Karl SOSA coming off a knockout against Eddie Gomez. He's coming off a layoff. And it wasn't like, oh, let me give Eddie Gomez an easy fight to ease back in. No, this is a tough one. And it was put together for a reason. Roberto Diaz and Javier Razo, the matchmakers, are Golden Boy, doing work as a main event. And this has been a good main event, a tough one.
So there's a cut on the right. Is it above the right eye?
On the right eyebrow of Gomez.
Yeah, on the right eyebrow.
Gomez is very confident speaking with him. Not cocky, just confidence in his ability. The way that he was going to get back into it. I'm not saying he over-fought Karl SOSA, but I don't think any of us really expected Karl SOSA to come out looking this good and this strong.
I didn't. I thought he would try to outbox him in spots, try to outmaneuver him, kind of move around him. And I envision Gomez as being the come forward, you know, the aggressor. It's been the other way around.
Well, that's how the fight started.
Yeah.
Where Gomez was in charge.
Yeah, but Sosa's been game throughout. He's talking to him this entire round.
Yeah,
He's showing him zero respect.
None at all.
Landing that right hand.
He's switching southpaw, lands a punch, and then barks at him.
And forcing Gomez to, you know, rely on some of the finer points of boxing.
Right from
Forcing
Gomez
him to
block.
move around and counter punch and do whatever he can to win the rounds.
Oh, good right hand again.
A tough one between Karl SOSA, Eddie Gomez. I could see a rematch of this one.
Yeah, same
I
here.
would love to see that.
SOSA he's pumped. Look at him bark. Now he's just barking at the crowd.
Yeah.
The Boricua and the Honduran fighter go the distance. They shake hands, some respect between the two fighters. A good scrap. It goes 10 hard rounds. We'll be back with the decision in Indio. On Golden Boys Boxing, Ring TV Live.
A representative came to my school talking about the different programs, and information security was one. Family, friends, but the best part about graduation day was when I got to announce to my family that I had gotten the job. For some, school is a backup plan, but for me, it was the only plan. And I ended up choosing ITT Tech over other four-year institutions.
Scholarships and financial aid are available for students who qualify. Call 800-227-2162. That's 800-227-2162.
Picket signs, don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on?
Tecate Light, born bold.
Orlando Salido does it again.
That'll be a great fight at the StubHub Center June 4th. But right now, there you see Karl SOSA, Eddie Gomez waiting for the judges to get the scorecards together. A good scrap that went 10 hard rounds. How do you have it, Doug, after 10?
95-95. I have this fight even, 5 rounds apiece. No respect from SOSA for 10 rounds, but Gomez earned it. After 10 hard rounds, they both have the utmost respect for each other.
And JoJo, how do you do it?
I had Sosa pulling it off. I felt like he was being more aggressive, landing the effective more shots. It seemed like Gomez just got tired and fatigued in there. And I have Sosa winning 96-94.
And on your card, it's really the down the stretch.
Yes, it was all in the later rounds.
Yeah,
all in the later rounds. He picked it up, man. He's been aggressive and landing those effective shots. And the activity was the major key factor.
And again, thanks for all the tweets on Ring TV Live using that hashtag Ivar. Yes, Joseph doing fabulous commentary. Brass, we will wonder if Steve Kim will have a job when he gets back. Maybe, you know, he can go interview.
There's that short lead right. And Joseph's very right. On top of being the more active fighter and the aggressor, he found a home for that short right. Did a good job of blocking some of these shots from Gomez, and you see that lead right snaps the head back of Gomez. Gomez couldn't get out of the way of it. Sort of surprised him over and over again.
Our ring announcer, Pablo Flores from Tijuana, is ready.
And ladies and gentlemen, a big shout out for both fighters, Gomez and Sosa. Fuerte el aplauso a ambos gladiadores por este combate en esta noche. And from the Fantasy Springs Casino and Resort in Indio, California, we go to the judges' scorecards. Nos vamos con las tarjetas de los jueces. Judge, juez, David Dinkins scored the bout 98-92, 98-92. Carla Kais and Tony Krebs scored the same, 96-94, 96-94. Coinciden tarjetas estos dos últimos jueces. Therefore, your winner, by the way, of unanimous decision. Su ganador por la vía de la decisión unánime. And new IBF North American Welterweight Champion, el nuevo campeón de Norteamérica de la Federación Internacional de Boxeo de Peso Welter, Honduras y the Bronx, New York, E-Boy, Eddie Gomez.
Eddie Gomez, a unanimous decision. Interesting scorecards.
Yeah, I'm surprised with that 98-92. That's 8 rounds to 2. Neither guy won 8 rounds. This was a hotly contested nip-and-tuck battle from round 1 through to round 10. Was that David Dinkin? That was a bad night. Bad night, David. 98-92, no way.
Yeah, 98-92 that was impossible, man. I had Sosa right into the fight. I mean, only giving him 2 rounds, that's messed up.
The other two had a 96-94. I can see that.
I can see that.
I can see that 96-94 the other way also.
So can I.
Yeah, same.
Congratulations to Eddie Gomez after a year off. The Honduras fighter from the Bronx, New York, 19-1. As you see the trainer, Alex Delevia, had a tough one. He had to earn it every single round against Karl SOSA.
And nevertheless, it's a very important victory for Eddie Gomez. There was a minor title, a minor IBF title on the line, and I think this victory gets Gomez ranked in like the top 15 of the IBF, and that's very important in a young fighter's career.
Fighting at the welterweight division. What does that mean, though, Doug? You say get him into the top 15. Why is that important? Obviously, you want to be ranked, but the significance to it?
Well, here's the thing. If you're ranked in the top 15, let's say the holder of the IBF title wants to have a voluntary defense, you're eligible to fight for that world title. You're not eligible to fight for the world title if you're not in the top 15 of a lot of these sanctioning organizations. So it makes you eligible to fight for a world title, but it also puts you in position where you can fight other contenders ranked in that organization, and you start to climb from the top 15 into the top 10, from the top 10 into the top 5, and then you're in position for a mandatory shot at the title.
That's why these regional belts mean so much to these guys.
Yes,
obviously, a belt is a belt, but for the ranking systems, it means even more. We'll be joined by Eddie Gomez in a couple of seconds, and there he is sitting down. Eddie Gomez, the Bronx fighter, Honduras roots. First time you fight in a year, how do you feel, man?
It's a very emotional time for me right now. It's very emotional. I'm just excited to be back.
You got tears in your eyes.
It was a hard year for me. 13 months out. I missed being in the ring. It showed up tonight. I felt it. But we're gonna take a week off, and we back in the gym to working on our craft. I'm excited to be back. A real tough time. I lost. My first defeat was over here 2 years ago. I fought Francisco Santana. It was a bittersweet moment because I lost. The fight was in June, but at the same time, my daughter was born in September, so it was a bittersweet moment for me. It was God's plan, I think, for me to come back over here today and be able to perform where I lost at. Very tough opponent.
Very hard fight as well. Can you tell us what you're seeing right here?
Even exchanges. He hit me, I hit him. Nobody wanted to stay hit.
It was a tough 10 rounds.
But I prepared really, really hard for this fight. I got some great sparring, and that's what helped me push through.
Can you imagine facing Karl SOSA the way you were preparing for fights 2 years ago? The version of Eddie Gomez from 2 or 3 years ago.
In the 5 years that I've been pro,
this has been my best training camp thus far. When I fought Daquan Arnett, it was a great camp.
I remember that fight.
For this fight,
yeah.
for this fight, it was a great camp. In 5 years, this is the first time that I came in at 145.
Yep.
The work showed. I was ready. In certain areas, he fought very well, but for the most part, I felt like I was more effective. He caught me with certain shots. It's just stuff that we got to go back in the gym and work on.
Did you feel, Andre Ward told you, you don't have the ring rust because you stay in the gym. But it's one thing to spar, but when you're actually in the ring, did you feel any different today?
Way different. Smaller gloves, no headgear on.
Yeah.
You could feel the shots a little bit more, way more. It was a good fight.
Did Sosa surprise you being able to take your power, take those flush uppercuts, and the aggressiveness, the activity that he brought to each round?
He surprised me big time. I thought I was gonna get him out of there, but this is boxing. I don't know what's going on the other side of camp, of the fighters' training camp. All I could tell is that I was ready, and it showed. My last fight, 5th round, I was already tired when I fought Francisco Santana when I lost. I just felt like 5th round came, my trainer would ask me, how you feel? I feel good. I feel good, let's go. I got hit with certain shots that I wasn't supposed to get hit with, but it's 13 months out.
Right.
Eddie Gomez, 19-1. Congratulations on the victory. There's the camera right there. Kaylee Gomez, toda la familia en Honduras. Mándeles los saludos ahorita.
I love my family. Kaylee, I love you. Mama Bear, I love you. Mommy, Mabel, everybody, thank you for tuning in, and I'm back.
Eddie Gomez goes back to the Bronx, Hackensack, New Jersey. He goes back a victor, 19-1. Let's look at some of the highlights from tonight. And there you see the Fancy Springs where we're at tonight. It all started with the Atrisco Kid, Fidel Maldonado, and Art Hovhannissian. They had a good, tough scrap, as usual, whenever the Armenian fighters in there.
Another hotly contested 10-round bout. Both guys going tit for tat. Neither guy really separating himself. Neither guy able to impose his style or his will on the other fighter. And that's the recipe for a good, hard, professional contest.
It ended up as a draw. Then on our main event, it was Eddie Gomez, Karl SOSA. They went the distance. 10 hard rounds, Gomez with the unanimous decision, Doug.
Both fighters reminding you that they are prospects, that they are welterweights to watch. Correct. Congratulations to Eddie Gomez getting the victory.
For Doug Fisher, the birthday boy, Joseph Diaz Jr., I'm Beto Duran. Thanks for watching Ring TV Live.